Sir,
How much? How much you got? Rotation factor for B and BC, C and C, how much?
distribution factor is
చెప్పండి.
distribution factor is 0.5, sir, for all members.
I am not asking distribution factor. I am asking only rotation factor. You cannot use
minus 0.25, sir.
What about the displacement factors? What about displacement factors? Because it is a sway problem. Displacement contribution also there. Because A and D are fixed support, and always see M value, N value, C value, all are 1. Let us take a reference height is 3 meters. So here take the reference height is 3 meters. Therefore, what is the value?
Sir, 50 వస్తుంది, sir.
-3/4 వచ్చింది సార్ డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఫ్యాక్టర్.
Hello? Are you calculating displacement factors?
Yes, sir.
How much?
Minus 0.75.
Oh, okay. Inka, how many members got minus 0.75?
Column AB and CD, sir.
ఓకే మీ వాయిస్ కట్ అవుతుంది నా వాయిస్ కూడా అట్లాగే వస్తుందా ఏంటి
నాకు ఇక్కడ నెట్ తక్కువగా ఉంది సార్ సిగ్నల్.
నా వాయిస్ ఎలా వస్తుంది sounds happened. So all of you see the slide. After calculating the fixed rate moments and algebraic moments, you draw the pictorial scheme for that problem. So this is the pictorial scheme. I already explained how to calculate the rotation fixed rate moments, how to calculate the rotation factors, and how to calculate the displacement factors. That is your duty. So after finding the all these things, parameter, and also moment of resistance due to shear, sigma h is equal to here only 50 kilonewton. That's enough. There is no other fixed end moments due to external shear due to external forces and shear due to fixed end moments are not there. So therefore, sigma h is equal to 50. That means QR is equal to 50. HR reference is taken as 3 meters, and QR into HR by 3 is nothing but the moment of resistance itself. It's same as that of horizontal force 50. So after calculating the all things will be displayed in pictorial scheme. Let us that joint B minus 60, algebraic sum BA MFB, and MFC is plus 60, and rotation factor for BA is minus 0.25. All are for BA, BC, and CB, CD is minus 0.25. And similarly, the displacement factor for column BA minus 0.75, and that is called delta BA, and delta CD is minus 0.75. So all these things will be seen in pictorial screen. Now iteration start, where in this problem is columns are symmetrical, so needed to go for first part from the displacement contributor. You can start first part from the rotation contribution. In the yesterday problem, the columns are unequal, therefore the iteration will be carried out in two parts. First part will be belongs to the displacement contribution, and from that you calculate the second part, the rotation factors. But here no need to go for like that. Here also the iteration is taken two parts. One part, first part is from the rotation factors, quite opposite in the last yesterday problem. So here what is MFB? MFB, what is the formula? MBA is M dash BA is equal to RBA into MFB plus M dash AB plus M dash BA. So M dash AB is always 0. So only M dash BA is initially 0. Therefore, you should multiply minus 60 into minus 0.25. You get the plus 15. That is the first rotation contribution for BA. And similarly, you have same value minus 16 to rotation factor of BC. You get the same value 15. So the rotation factor for BA and BC are same because of rotation factors are same. Then to determine the CB, let us use this BC value. So how it is? 60 plus 15, that is 75. 75 multiplied to 0.25 minus 0.25, you get the minus 18.75, minus 18.75 respectively for CB and CD. So after you get the first part, hello, have you done out? చూడండి ఎవరితో సౌండ్ వస్తుంది. రైట్ రైట్. So after getting the first part in the first cycle of iteration, rotation contributions for BA member is plus 15, BC member is plus 15, CB member minus 18.75, and CD member is minus 18.5. So now after finishing the first part of the rotation contribution, let us use rotation contributions. You determine the displacement contributions. How it is? M double dash BA is equal to this one 15. M double dash BA is equal to delta BA. That means DBA is minus 0.75 into M dash AB plus M dash BA into CAB. But here not CAB because columns are equal. The CAB and CDB is 1. Therefore, minus 0.75 into M dash BA is 15 plus M dash sigma kada M dash CD minus 18.74. So algebraic sum of BA contribution and CD contribution. Let us see. Listen carefully. Algebraic sum of BA contribution, rotation contribution, and CD rotation contribution. What is the BA rotation contribution for first cycle? 15. Similarly, rotation contribution of CD is minus 18. So algebraic sum is how much? Plus 15 minus 18.75. How much? How much? A calculator level me there?
Minus 3.75.
Yeah, that is that plus 50 MR. That means QR by H formula is there. So that value multiply with add to the MR 50. So minus 3.5 minus 3.75 plus 50 plus 46.25. That multiply the displacement factor minus 7.75. How much?
Minus 34.69.
So that is the you see in here minus 34.69. Similarly here also same for CD also same value. What is the CD? Some algebraic sum of rotation contribution for BA and CD multiply with sum of CA and CD plus MR multiply with displacement factor. You got the same value. So this is the first cycle. Now you start the second cycle. Again, now you are having in first cycle rotation factors. Rotation factors are all members and displacement. Rotation contribution for all members and displacement contribution for all members in the first cycle. Now utilize all these values to determine second cycle iteration. How it is? Let us use CB M dash CB and determine the BA M dash AB and M dash BA and M dash BC. How it is? Algebraic sum of minus 60 plus minus 18.75 plus minus 3.34.69. Now you are having rotation contribution, displacement contribution. Initially it is assumed 0. So after getting all these things, you should utilize those values. How it is? Algebraic sum of minus 60 plus what is the rotation contribution of CB in first cycle? Minus 18.75 plus what is the displacement contribution of BA for first cycle? Minus 34.69. Multiply with respect to rotation factor gives the respect to rotation contribution. So all of you get the 28.36, 28.36. So all are the negative. So here minus 60, minus 18.75, minus 34.5. ముందు కలిపేయండి అన్ని కూడా నెగటివ్ కాబట్టి మైనస్ పెట్టుకుందాం. 60 ప్లస్ 18.75 ప్లస్ 34.69 మైనస్ ఆఫ్ మల్టిప్లై విత్ మైనస్ 0.25 అంటే ప్లస్ అయిపోతుంది ఇంటూ 0.25 చేయండి. So 28.36. Are you getting this value? Second rotation contribution.
Yes, sir.
And similarly, the same value you are getting because rotation factor is same. So after getting 28.36, let us utilize this value and develop these rotation contribution of CB and CD. How it is? Plus 28.36 plus 30 plus 60 plus minus 34.69. Follow my cursor. Plus 28.36. All of you follow my cursor movement. Plus 28.36 plus 60 plus minus 34.6. Algebraic sum చేయండి. Multiply with respect to rotation factors gives the minus 13.42 minus 13.42. Now you are having rotation contribution for all members BA, BC, CB, CD in second cycle 2. So first part is completed in second cycle. Now go for second part, displacement contribution. So algebraic sum of please go through my cursor, follow my cursor movement. Algebraic sum of 28.36 plus minus 13.42 plus 50 multiply with respect to displacement factor gives the displacement contribution of BA and BCD. Are you getting the same value? 48.70, 48.70?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Similar way you find find out the fourth, fifth, and sixth cycle. You are getting the same values 30.72, 13.72, 9.30, 9.3. In fourth cycle, seventh cycle, you are getting same values. Then you stop the iteration. Two consecutive values are you stop the iteration. Two consecutive values are same. So 30.7 to 30.7 in vertical direction or in a horizontal direction, whatever it may be. You can stop the iteration. In the seventh cycle, you are getting 30.72, 30.72, 30.9.30, minus 9.30, and minus 53.57. So these are the boxes. Figures will be the displacement rotation contribution BA M dash BA is equal to plus 30.72. M dash BC is equal to plus 30.72. M dash CB is equal to minus 9.30. And M dash CD is equal to minus 9.30. M double dash AB or BA, whatever it may be, minus 15.56. And M double dash CD or DC. DC ఉండదు CDA ఉంటుంది minus 53.76. So let us, after finding these values, you find the member and moments, final moment. So using MAB is equal to MFAB plus 2 times M dash AB plus M dash BA plus M double dash AB. Using, I write the formulas and substitute it, and you're getting the final end moments like this. For this final end moments with sign convention, you draw the Benjamin diagram. Already how to draw, I will explain in last classes. It's slope deflection method and in moment distribution. That is your job. Clear? So I will cover the all models in slope deflection method and in moment distribution method and in Carney's method. హలో ఎవరమ్మా చూడండి ఇంట్లో పాటలు పడుతున్నాయి. Right, students, ఓకేనా? చెప్పండి. ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఇంక మీరు చేసుకోవాల్సింది. ఇది ఇన్నిసార్లు చెప్పిన తర్వాత మా ఫైనల్ మూమెంట్స్ కట్టిన తర్వాత ఇవన్నీ మీరు చేసుకోవాల్సిందే. I cannot explain every time. That's not my duty also. ఏం చేస్తున్నారు? కాపీ చేస్తున్నారా లేకపోతే ఏంటి మళ్ళీ చేస్తున్నారా? కెన్ ఐ స్టాప్ హియర్? కెన్ ఐ స్టాప్ హియర్? ఐ విల్ స్టార్ట్ ద థర్డ్ యూనిట్. ఇప్పటికే లేట్ అయిపోయింది. యా, ఐ విల్ స్టార్ట్ షేర్ హియర్. Stop the sharing and I will share. So put a heading, third unit is arches. Put a heading, third unit will be arches. All of you, are you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Right. Hear my voice properly?
Yes, sir.
Right. So arches is the third unit. It's different from the what you are learned in first unit and second unit. Those are the analysis methods followed. This is different from that one. You should little bit knowledge you have influence lines for this chapter. Okay, so arch, how you define the arch? It is a curved beam. Beam, what is the beam? It's a horizontal member. Beam is having longitudinal length and cross section BD, subjected to transverse loads. That is the beam. Yeah, already your RCS one you analyze and design rectangular beam. So same beam will be turned to convexity upward. It's a curved beam. Is nothing but arch. So see the figures, all are curved. లోపల ఎవరో చూడండి, కొద్దిగా డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఉంది ఇంట్లోని. ఓపెన్ చేశారు. D4. Okay. 110, 137. So mute yourself. Right. Let us listen carefully. So introduction about the what is the hello ఎవరండి ఇంట్లో అస్మాల్ డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఉంది అతను D4 ఎవరు? Please unlock yourself or otherwise I will unlock all the persons. Okay, mute చేసేస్తాను. So what is the arch? Arch may be visualized beam in curved in elevation with convexity upward, which is restrained at ends from spreading out under the action of downward loading. See here what I told you seen in the figure. Arch may be visualized as a curved beam in elevation. Elevation ఎలా కనబడుతుంది? It's a curved beam with convexity upward. Convexity like this. Concave, this is concave and this is convex. Convexity is upward and which restrained at the ends. A and B are restrained. It's not moving. That means hinged. A is hinged support and B is hinged support. So restrained at its ends from the spreading out. When the arch is subjected to vertical loads, what will happen if you are not restrained the ends? This will be spreading out. So to prevent the spreading out, you put a hinged or fixed supports at its end. So finally, arch may be visualized as a curved beam in elevation with convexities upward, which is restrained at its ends from the spreading out under the action of downward vertical loading. So this is the curve. The inward horizontal reaction induced at what will happen while restrain the ends, if the beam is curved beam is or arch is subjected to gravity loading or otherwise vertical downward loads, due to restrained ends, the horizontal reactions will be developed at the ends. That is most important in the arches. So HA and HB will be there. So what is the nature? It will acting towards right of its support. At A, in towards right, and at B, horizontal reactions towards left. That is called inward horizontal induced by the end restraints produce hogging moment in the arch, which effectively counteract the static sagging moment set up by the vertical load. This is the basic concept. So due to gravity loads, the sagging moment will be developed. So if the ends are restrained, due to that ends restraint, horizontal reactions, inward horizontal reactions will be developed. These inward horizontal reactions produce hogging moment. So due to gravity loads or vertical loads on the beam, it produces sagging moment, and due to horizontal reaction restrained at ends, produce the hogging moment. So finally, the sagging moment will be reduced by the hogging moment. So that's why this type of arches will be seen in carrying heavier loading bearing capacity in railways and railway bridges. So why it is used? Why it is carrying heavy loads? This is the reason. The net bending moment will be reduced. Net bending moment on of the sag moment will be reduced by the hogging moment. Thereby, it carrying a very heavier load bearing capacity of an arch compared to corresponding beam. Compared to corresponding, if you take a beam which is subjected to some loads, compared that one, it will take more load. Why? Because beam is simply supported, therefore it will not offer any horizontal reaction as a support. So there is no hogging moment, only sagging moment is there. But what is the net moment? Net moment of beam sagging moment only itself. But whereas in when the ends are restrained, the net band moment will be reduced by the hogging moment. Then sagging moment will be reduced by the hogging moment. That's why when compared to beams, the arches will be carrying capacity higher loads. That's why these structures are constructed in buildings and bridges. So um, see figure A, consider arch highway bridges as highest point here. Highest point, let us see the figure A. Highest point in arch, it is called crown. What is the point C is called? Crown or peak, what are maybe it's called, simply called as a crown. So the highest point C of the arch ACB. Arch name is ACB. In the ACB arch, the highest point is C, is called crown. So whereas the lowest points, what is the lowest points? A and B are called as springings. These are technical names used in arches. Crown is the highest point and lowest points are the springings. And in between pavement and arch is called, denoted by SP. This is called spandrels. It is called spandrels. So these are the uh, parts of the dotted lines. Also the arch, the dotted lines indicates arch axis. That means arch axis denoted by broken lines join the centroid of all cross sections of the artery. So this is the parts of the dotted lines are called arch axis, and C is crown, and lowest parts are springings. So depending upon the classifications are in any several ways. For example, depending on shape parabola. So mainly the shape arch depends upon shape. It is a parabolic, circular and elliptical. So arches are called as a parabolic, circular, or elliptical depending upon the shape of the arch axis. So this arch axis is called dotted lines. The center line of the already I explained arch axis is denoted by broken arrow lines joins the centroids of the all cross section of the arch rib. This is called arch rib. This this is called arch rib. ఈ ఆర్చ్ రిబ్ లో డాటెడ్ లైన్స్ ఉన్నదాన్ని arch axis అంటారు, right? So this shape of the arch axis is parabola, then it is called a parabolic arch. If the shape of the arch axis is circular, then it is called as a circular arch. If the shape of the arch axis is elliptical, it's a elliptical arch. What at maybe in your syllabus you are having only parabolic shape and circular. And depending upon the number of hinges, depending upon number of hinges, again the arches will be categorized as three types. One is if the arch is having three hinges, two at springings and one at a crown, that is called as three hinged arch. Let us see in the figure A. So first classification is according to shape: parabolic, circular, or elliptical. Elliptical is not in your syllabus, but parabola, circular is there, and depends upon the hinges. Again, this is categorized as classified as three hinged arch. Two hinges at springings, one is crown. And see the figure B, two hinges are there. This is called two hinged arch. So the two will be at supports at each support at its springings. And here if there is no hinge provided at the springings, then it is called a hingeless arch. So primarily depending upon number of hinges, three hinged arches, two hinged arches as in the figures shown in A and B. And if you not provide a hinge at the supports, the support A and B are fixed, then it is a fixed arch or hingeless arch. So combination of in your syllabus, the combination of first classification and second classification, it depends upon shape of the arch axis. It's a parabola having three hinges, then three hinged parabolic arch. If the shape of the arches is circular or parabola and it is having two hinges at springings only, that is called two hinged parabolic arch. And similarly, if the arch axis is circular and having three hinges, two at springings and one at crown, then it is called a three hinged circular arch. And the shape of the arch is circular and having two hinges at springings, then it is called as a two hinged circular arch. Right, like that you divide. And static indeterminate, depending upon static indeterminate, it's also divided into two types, two classifications. One is statically determinate and statically indeterminate. So I will said depending upon shape of the arch axis and number of plastic hinges and static indeterminacy. One is static indeterminacy, statically determinate, and the second one is statically indeterminate. So if the arches having three hinges, it is statically determinate, and you can analyze it with equilibrium equations. So no need to go for any force method or displacement method. But coming to the, if the arch is having two hinges, it is statically indeterminate. Then you go for use any force method. What you are learn in first unit, theorem of least work, or theorem of least work is comes validity from the Castigliano's theorem 2 directly. So use Castigliano's theorem 2, you can analyze two indeterminate arches. So this is the classification of the arches. Are you listen, students? Are you understand? అర్థమవుతుందా?
సార్ సార్
Right.
కొంచెం
సార్
Yeah.
డాటెడ్ పార్ట్ ఏమంటారు సార్?
Arch axis.
ఇది కాదు సార్, ఎస్పీకి మధ్యలో సార్.
ఎస్పీ కాదు, పేవ్మెంట్ కి ఆర్చ్ కి ఆర్చ్ రిబ్ అంటారు. దీన్ని రిబ్ అంటారు. రిబ్ లో డాటెడ్ లైన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ద టూ డాట్ లైన్స్ ఆర్ రిబ్, ఆర్చ్ రిబ్. సో ద ఆర్చ్ రిబ్, ద సెంట్రల్ లైన్ portion of the arch rib is called arch axis, which is denoted by dotted lines. So the in between pavement and arch rib, a portion is called spandrel. SP, that's why I will here shown spandrel SP. Clear?
ఓకే సార్.
సో ఇప్పుడు నేను మీకు ఏమని చెప్పాను? ఆర్చెస్ అంటే ఏంటో చెప్పాను. ఆర్చెస్ యొక్క కాన్సెప్ట్ అంటే వై ద యూజింగ్ ఆర్చెస్ ఇన్ బ్రిడ్జెస్, బికాస్ ఇట్ క్యారింగ్ హెవీ లోడ్స్. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ రీజన్. వెన్ కంపేర్డ్ టు బీమ్ ఇట్ విల్ క్యారీస్ మోర్ లోడ్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ కూడా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాను. నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటి, ఆర్చ్ పార్ట్స్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాను. జనరల్గా ఆర్చ్ ఏమేమి ఉంటాయో ఆ పార్ట్స్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాను. అండ్ క్లాసిఫికేషన్ క్లబ్ చేశాను, depending upon the shape of the arch axis and depending upon the number of hinges and depending upon the static indeterminacy. ఈ మూడు కూడా నేను క్లబ్ చేశాను అన్నమాట. మీకు మూడు ఉన్నాయి, ఇవన్నీ కూడా కలిపితేనే ఒక ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది. క్లియర్? రైట్. సో here you observe something. In every cross section of an arch there is a point at which resultant compression or thrust acts. That's why arch is purely compression member. Sometimes it is called as a compression member, but always not like that. But each and every particle is in compression. That's why it carrying more load when compared to the same beam. So every cross section in an arch there is a point at which the resultant compression or thrust acts. So this point is called center of compression. What the points are, all points are called as a center of compression. So when you joining all these points in the cross section, it is called center of compression or pressure line or line of thrust. So when the pressure line coincides with the axis of the arch, listen carefully, when the pressure lines coincides with the axis of the arch, it is known as theoretical or linear arch. ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ డాటెడ్ లైన్ కోయిన్సైడ్స్ విత్ ద సెంటర్ ఆఫ్ సో ఎప్పుడైతే ప్రెషర్ లైన్ కోయిన్సైడ్స్ విత్ ద సెంటర్ లైన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఆర్చ్, దెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ లీనియర్ ఆర్చ్. ఎప్పుడు అవుతుంది ఇది ఈ కండిషను? ఇఫ్ ద parabolic arch subjected to uniformly distributed. In such case, it is a theoretical or linear arch. So this condition, when the shape of the static bending moment, what is the shape of the static bending moment of the simply supported being subject to uniform distributed? It's a parabolic shape, already known. So that shape will be coincides with the rib axis or arch axis. That is called linear arch. When the arch is called linear or theoretical, students, when the arch is called as a theoretical or linear,
when pressure line coincides with arch axis.
Yes, when pressure lines coincides the ఆర్చ్ యాక్సిస్. ఆర్చ్ యాక్సిస్ అంటే ఏంటి? డాటెడ్ లైన్స్. ఎప్పుడు ఈ షేప్ ఉంటుంది మనకి? సపోజ్ చూడండి, ఈ షేప్ ఏంటి? పారాబోలిక్ షేప్ ఉందా లేదా? ఈ షేప్ ఎప్పుడు ఎక్కడ వస్తుంది మనకి? ఇఫ్ యూ డ్రా ద సింప్లీ సపోర్టెడ్ సేమ్ బీమ్, టేక్ ఏ సింప్లీ సపోర్టెడ్ అండ్ సబ్జెక్టెడ్ యూనిఫార్మ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్, దెన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద షేప్ ఆఫ్ ద బెండింగ్ మూమెంట్? parabolic. The shape of the bending moment is parabolic. That will be coincides with the axis of the ring. So the shape of arch axis in general cannot be same as the shape of the static bending moment. So this is the point, and take the another diagram. I will share it. See all of the. I share the slide. Have you seen the figure?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let us see the figure. Draw the figure also. Let us draw the figure. This is the axis of polygonal arch. It is a formation arch. Is it an arch? It is a combination of links AC, CD, DE, and EB. It's a polygonal arch which is hinged at the supports at A and B are at the same level. Levels also same. So inward horizontal forces. See, let us see at A, at B. That's why this H is called thrust. H is called thrust, and it is acting inward of its supports. Inward horizontal reaction. It, at A and B are same because the supports are at the same level. So the internal hinge at F point, there is an internal hinge. So basically, this is a three-hinged polygonal arch and subjected to vertical loads W1, W2, and W3. So this is the figure A, and I am take the same beam AB subjected to corresponding, that means the corresponding simply support carrying the same vertical loads W1, W2, W3 at the same point C, D, E as shown in figure B. So the bending moment diagram figure C is the bending moment diagram for the figure B. So when you draw the bending moment diagram for the figure B like this, the what is the shape of the bending moment diagram for figure B, which is equal to same as that of figure A, arch. చూడండి ఇక్కడ సేమ్ లింక్ ఏర్పడింది polygonal. So the shape of the polygonal arch in figure A be chosen such a way that its rise y dash at any point P. So let's take any point P on the arch. The vertical ordinate is called as y dash. Vertical ordinate is y dash. And similarly at third hinge, one hinge is at springings, each two hinges at each support, and third hinge will be at point F. And vertical ordinate is called y dash F. Y dash F. and it is let us consider at any point P from the support A in x distance, and y dash is the vertical intercept of the point P. So the y dash at any point P is proportional to bending moment. The y dash will be proportional to any bending moment correspond to the figure C. చూడండి అక్కడ ఎఫ్ దగ్గర చూడండి ఎంబి అని ఉంది. అట్ అండ్ పి పాయింట్ దగ్గర ఎంబి ఉంది చూడండి ఇక్కడ. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఈ పాయింట్ ఎంబి. దిస్ ఇస్ ఎంబిసి and MB. So let us clearly understand this figure, then you can easily draw the three-hinged problem, three-hinged circle, three-hinged arches. Or if you draw the figures, డ్రా చేస్తున్నారమ్మా?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ఇక్కడ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాను అంతే. జస్ట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద పోల్నాగల్ ఆర్చ్ subjected to vertical W1, W3, and it is having three hinges, two at springings and one at point F. And you take any point P on the arch at a distance x from support A, and y dash vertical intercept is y dash. And similarly, third hinge is placed at F, that vertical intercept is y dash F. So let us take same problem, same load and the corresponding loads on the simply supported beam, and for that beam you draw the bending moment. The shape of the bending moment diagram of the simply supported is same as that of polygonal arch. Therefore, then what I am said, the shape of the polygonal arch in figure A be chosen in such a way that its rise y dash, vertical intercept rise, is called as vertical intercept y dash is called rise. So rise at any point P is proportional to bending moment in the figure C. అలా కనెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చా మనం మ్యాథమెటికల్ గాని?
మాట్లాడరా
హలో,
చెప్పండి మామూలు కూడా 250 అంటే
Hemant.
right? Are you finished to draw the diagrams? Students, are you finished to draw the diagrams?
Yes, sir.
Can I go for slide? Shift the slide.
Yes, sir.
Okay. పని చేయట్లేదంటే అప్పారు డౌనరు. Yeah. See figure equation 1.11. All of you see the figure 1.11. What I just told, the rise in the polynomial arch is directly proportional to the bending moment in corresponding simply supported beam. So y dash is equal to k times mb. Therefore, in which k is a proportionality, then it is right as a bending moment at internal hinge f is equal to mf. You take the bending moment, mf is equal to mbf minus hy dash f. That will be mbf into, you know already, y dash h is equal to y dash f. Substitute is 0. Kh is equal to, put mf is equal to 0. That means mbf minus mbf equal to 0. So that this will says the bending moment at any point, if you know the rise, that will be 0. That is the you understand here, right? Okay, now let us take the bending moment at f. So bending moment f తీసుకుంటే ఏమవుతుంది, VA ఇంటూ అక్కడ ఎంత లెంత్ ఉంటే లెంత్, హౌ మచ్ లెంత్ ఇట్ ఈస్, horizontal length, and W1 into length. All these things are called as MBF, MBC, MBF. So MF is equal to MBF, that's B moment, B for B moment, minus H into YF. You know the YF. So MBF into H into, you know the Y dash F is nothing but, then it is, so from this equation 1.1, 1.2, you can take, hence the bending moment at any point may be written as MP is equal to MB minus H into Y dash. That, so finally you understand what you, the bending moment is 0 at all points in the arch, figure 1.2.a. That means if you know the ordinate, that means rise. So finally, if YF is equal to YF, M is equal to MB minus HY, where MB is equal to B moment corresponding to same loading on the simply supported beam. So M is equal to MB, and that means MB, right in right hand term, first term is belongs to bending moment of the simply supported beam. That is called sagging moment. Already I told in first introduction part. The sagging moment, this MB will be sagging moment, will be reduced by hogging moment HY. That's why it's carrying heavy loads. So equation 1.14 will be the main formula. So let us see. This is the figure D and E, same parabolic shape, and 3 hinged at 2 at springings and 1 at F. Let us take the arch, and this is the bending. What is the curved one? This is the bending moment diagram for the, let us follow my cursor. The shape of the arch and the shape of the bending moment due to thrust, that is means, that is equal to HY, is same. And what is the polynomial link? This is the polynomial link. That means due to bending moment due to simply support subject to same, when you club these two moments, that means hogging moment, sagging moment, the bending moment diagram like this E, right? This is also copy this one figure.
సార్ ఒకసారి థియరం ఉన్న స్లైడ్ పెట్టరా సార్?
ఏదమ్మా?
థియరం స్టేట్మెంట్ ఉంది కదా సార్, ఆ స్లైడ్ కింద ఫార్ములాస్ నోట్, అదే అవి ఫార్ములాస్ ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్, y dash ఈక్వల్ టు k ఇంటూ mb అవి.
దాన్ని పాలినామిల్ లింక్ నే నేను ఇది అక్కడ పాలినామిల్ కాకుండా ప్రెషర్ లైన్ ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి కోయిన్సైడ్ అవుతుంది. ఇఫ్ షేప్ ఆఫ్ ద ఆర్చ్ ఈస్ parabolic, then the shape of the bending moment due to horizontal thrust hy is same as that of shape of the arch. And what is this links? This is the bending moment due to external loads, gravity W1, W2, W3. This is the see AC link and AD link and AE link and EB. These are the links.
ఇది కాదు
So-
సార్ స్లైడ్.
అదే దిస్ ఇస్ ద అక్కడ దాంట్లో ఏం లేదు. దిస్ ఇస్ ద మెయిన్ కాన్సెప్ట్. వెన్ యూ క్లబ్ ద హాగింగ్ మూమెంట్ అండ్ సాగింగ్ మూమెంట్, దట్ మీన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద నెట్ బెండింగ్ మూమెంట్? m is equal to mb minus hy. So this will be reduced. So this is called theorem. See, m is called Eddy's theorem, 1 by k into y dash minus y. So this is vertical intercept between, you cannot write all these things, but you can understand what Eddy's theorem says. The vertical intercept between the theoretical arch and actual arch represents the some scale to the bending moment at the point considered in the arch. This is called Eddy's theorem. మిమ్మల్ని Eddy's theorem అడుగుతాడు అంతే. Let us this will be sure Eddy's theorem and the vertical intercept between the theoretical arch and actual arch represents to some scale in the bending moment at a particular point in the arch is called Eddy's theorem. Just 2 marks అడుగుతారు కావచ్చు, you can write it for this one. All of you write the Eddy's theorem. Then go for geometrical properties. Let us take the parabolic arch. So all of you write the Eddy's theorem. Eddy's theorem rasara. It says that vertical intercept between the theoretical arch and actual arch to some scale the bending moment at the point considered in the actual arch is called Eddy's theorem. That means m is equal to 1 by k into y dash minus y. Let us put it in geometrical. It is very important to analyze the arches. Geometrical properties. All of you copy the figure. First shape of the arch axis parabola. Then this is the parabolic arch. At any point P, x from support A and y ordinate is rise is y, and at center it's a yc, ordinate yc or rise at center, and it is L by 2 L by 2. Then you take the origin A, the parabolic curve ACB, it can be written as y is equal to cx into L minus x. This is all of you know is a parabolic equation. If x is equal to L by 2, then ordinate y is equal to yc. Then the constant c is equal to 4yc by L square. And substitute in this equation, y equation, you get the y is equal to 4yc into x into L minus x by L square. This is the equation you remember y for parabolic arch. 1.2.1 is very important. So copy this one, parabolic arch. Draw the figure. Everyone should draw the figure in your notes. Don't copy, don't take the pic. లేదా సినిమా చూసినట్టే ఉంటుంది నీకు. పీపీ టైప్స్ అంటే ఏం ఉండవు అందులో. So let us take the parabolic arch, and y finally y is equal to, you should remember only y is alternate connects to the x and y. Y is equal to 4 by c, x into L minus x by L square. And coming to the circular arch, again you draw the circular arch. See here, the difference is x is taken from center, not from support. In parabolic arch, x is taken from the support, left support, but here x is taken some center point x, that is any point and p on the arch, circular arch. X is the horizontal distance, so y is the rise. Then this radius is making an angle theta with the vertical ordinate yc, and radius at any point will be make an alpha with the vertical line. So for this you connect the, this is the very important formula to determine the radius of the circle. Use circular property yc into 2 r minus yc is equal to L by 2 whole square. All of you note down this equation 1.23 for circular. Write down circular arch. Note down circular arch.
Voice not audible.
హలో, వాయిస్ వస్తుందమ్మా?
ఎస్ సార్.
Right. So in parabolic in circular arch, to connect the using circle property, you determine the radius of the circle from the equation 1.2.3 and see yc into 2r minus yc into L by 2 into L by. This is from derived from circle property. And also to determine the theta, take a triangle OPC1. Let us this horizontal line extends and cuts the vertical line. Then that point is called C1 or C dash. Then you take a triangle OPC1. Then you find the sin theta is equal to x by r. And similarly, alpha is equal to sin alpha is equal to L by 2 by r. So you can find the theta, you can find the alpha also. And in parabolic, there is a relation between x and y. You take any point on the arch, the relation between x and y will give the 1.2. In similar way, you construct the relation between the x and y coordinates at any point P on the arch in circle will gives the r minus yc plus y is equal to r cos theta. Then from this equation you write y is equal to r cos theta. Once you know the r and yc, then you relate x and y relation, r cos theta minus r plus yc. So use this equation, you connect y. మనకి ఏం కావాలి? y అనేదే కావాలి. at a particular horizontal distance, what is the y? y తెలిస్తే ఆటోమేటిక్ గా మనకున్న ఫార్ములా ఏంటి? ఫైనల్ ఫార్ములా 1.4 m is equal to mb minus hy. ఇందులో మనకి h తెలియాలి, y తెలియాలి, and that's enough. ఆ hy మనం ఇట్లా కనుక్కుంటాం. So these are the circle properties, circular geometrical properties of parabola and circle. You note it, all these things: 1.2.3, 1.2.4, 1.2.5 and 1.2.6. Using these equations, you can solve the three-hinged circular or three-hinged parabolic arch. మీ ఎగ్జామ్స్ 5th నుండి పెట్టారు. సెకండ్ సెమిస్టర్ ఎగ్జామ్స్. ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి మీరు అందరూని. సెకండ్ సెమిస్టర్ ఎండ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ కి ఇంజనీర్స్ అంటే వినండి ఈ క్లాసులు, బట్ ప్రిపేర్ ఆల్రెడీ ఇప్పటికే ప్రిపేర్ అయి ఉండాలి మీరు, చాలా టైం ఉంది కాబట్టి.
సార్ ఎగ్జామ్ కి డే ప్రిపరేషన్ ఇవ్వలేదు సార్. మధ్యలో
డే ప్రిపరేషన్ మీకు అలవాటైంది, కానీ ఇంతకు ముందు పూర్వం ఆంధ్ర యూనివర్సిటీలో ఇంతే. మేము చదువుతున్నప్పుడు మొన్నటి వరకు జేఎన్టీకి వెళ్ళే వరకు కూడా డేకి ప్రిపరేషన్ ఉండదు అసలు. ఒక రోజు రోజు ఏం లేదు. ఆ దరిద్రం ఏంటి, ఆ జేఎన్టీకి వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ దరిద్రం అంటే, లేదంటే డే బై డే దట్స్ అన్న 1 week లో అయిపోయింది. అది ఎప్పుడు రూల్, అది ఆంధ్ర యూనివర్సిటీ ఇప్పుడు కూడా రూల్ అంతే. ఈ మధ్యలో ఏమన్నా హాలిడేస్ వస్తే ఆదివారం కానీ, లేదంటే పండగ పబ్లిక్ హాలిడే వస్తే అసలు వస్తుంది తప్పించి, లేదంటే మీకు అదే కాన్స్టిట్యూటివ్ గా చేసే ఎగ్జామ్స్. అలాగే ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి.
సిలబస్ అవ్వలేదు కదా సార్ మరి?
సార్ సిలబస్ ఫుల్ గా కంప్లీట్ అవ్వలేదు సార్. అన్ని
ఏ సిలబస్ అవ్వలేదు?
SA1 అవ్వలేదు సార్, FM
SA1 FM సిటీ అయిపోయింది సార్. W1 సార్ అవ్వలేదు సార్.
SA1 FM
SA1 ఏముంది?
2 units అయింది సార్.
3 units అయిందా? 3 units ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి. అది ఎంతవరకైనా మిగతా మీరు ఏంటంటే వదిలేయకండి. మీరు సిలబస్ అవ్వలేదని ఒకవేళ క్వశ్చన్లు ఇచ్చినాయి కానీ మీరు టచ్ చేయండి. సిలబస్ అవ్వలేదు కాబట్టి మేము టచ్ చేస్తే మార్క్స్ ఇస్తాం. ఏదో మేము చేస్తాం. but you should prepare your up to 3 units. 3 యూనిట్లు చదివితే ఈజీగా పాస్ అయిపోతారబ్బా ఫస్ట్ 3 యూనిట్లోని. పాస్ అవుట్ రేట్ మంచి స్కోర్ కూడా వస్తుంది.
సార్ ఆఫ్లైన్ లో పెడతారా ఆన్లైన్ లో పెడతారా?
ఆఫ్లైనే, ఆన్లైన్ లేదు. మన గవర్నమెంట్ అలాంటిది, మనం ఎన్నుకున్నాం. మరి
ప్రిపరేషన్ హాలిడేస్ ఎప్పుడు?
ఏమా
ప్రిపరేషన్ హాలిడేస్ ఉండవు సార్.
ప్రిపరేషన్ హాలిడేస్ ఏమి ఉండవు. ఇంకా ఇప్పటికే చాలా లాంగ్ టర్మ్ ప్రిపరేషన్ హాలిడేస్ ఇచ్చారు, 6 నెలలు. ఇంకా ప్రిపరేషన్ హాలిడేస్ ఎందుకు, లాంగ్ టర్మ్ ఇచ్చారు కదా. ఎప్పుడో మీకు మార్చిలోనే, ఏప్రిల్లో అవ్వాలి. కాబట్టి ప్రిపేర్ అయిపోవటం మీరు. బిఫోర్ 1 వీక్ బిఫోర్ ఏదైతే అవ్వలేదు అన్నారో ఒక క్లాస్ వర్క్ పెడతానన్నారు కదా. క్లాస్ వర్క్ మరి లేదు, మరి ఇంకా లేదమ్మా ఇంకా క్లాస్ వర్క్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీకు అయిన 3 డేస్ మినిమం అన్ని సబ్జెక్టులో 3 యూనిట్లు అయ్యాక
అయ్యాయి సార్.
3 యూనిట్లు అయిపోయాయి కదా ప్రతి సబ్జెక్ట్ నుండి. సో 3 యూనిట్లు మీరు బాగా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి, సరిపోతుంది. ఇస్తారా పాస్ ఆర్ ప్రమోట్. మీరు అబద్ధాల గురించి ఆలోచిస్తారు, ఎందుకు అవినాటి గురించి ఆలోచించండి. మనం ఇప్పుడు అవినాటిలో మనం ఎంతవరకు గెయిన్ చేయగలం అనే దాని గురించి ఆలోచించి ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి. Right. Let us take what is the basic mechanism. ఎవరు ఇంట్లో చేస్తున్నా చూడండి, మ్యూట్ చేయండి. Right. Now put a heading basic mechanism. So this is the actually analysis of the arch is like this. That all these things are just geometrical properties, and this theorem is just what is what. That's enough. But this is the basic mechanism for the arches. So here I am considered already in the type of hinges, three classifications. One is depends upon hinge, categorized as 3-hinged arch, 2-hinged arch, and hingeless arch. This is the hingeless arch. I will take the fixed support. Hingeless arch means nothing but a fixed support, A and B. So what are the fixed support offers? Vertical reaction, horizontal reaction, and movement at the support. And this is subjected to, this arch is subjected to uniformly distributed load, arbitrary load. This is arbitrary. Some uniform load is acting on the arch, and I will take the any point P on the arch from the X distance from the support A, and rise at that point is Y. So this is the figure A, and take the figure B. So if the supports are same level, therefore HA is equal to HB is equal to H, right? So when you take the arbitrary loading and find the vertical shear V determined for considering the, let us take a free body diagram of at a point P on the arch, which is given by figure B. What is figure B? It is a free body diagram of the arch at point P will be given. So here, to draw the free body diagram at point P on the arch, at A, 3 restraints are there: vertical, horizontal moment, and vertical shear is there. And here H is horizontal thrust, inward horizontal thrust. Each and every cross section, నేను చెప్పాను కదా, center thrust subject first చెప్పాను. Each and every point will be subjected to compression or thrust. So therefore H is at that point V and H, and moment will be also there, and some arbitrary loading. That arbitrary loading is W bar AP. the arbitrary loading on the part AP is WAP, and it is situated at this vertical load at a distance x bar AP. This is the uh, free body diagram of particular point on the arch. And from this free body diagram, you find the V. What is V? V is equal to apply sigma Fy equal to 0. V is equal to VA minus W bar AP. Sigma Fy equal to 0 and at some of the vertical forces must be 0. So what is vertical force here? VA, V, and so V plus W, both are downward and this is upward. So V plus W bar AP equal to VA. Then I want to find the vertical shear at particular point P is equal V is equal to VA minus VWP. And I want to find the where WP is a resultant vertical load acting over the portion. What is WAP? W bar AP? It is a resultant load acting on the over the portion AP. And I want to find the bending moment. Bending moment at point P may be determined taking moment about P. So taking moments about P, you get the bending moment. So what is the bending moment? M is equal to MA plus BA into X minus WP into X minus X bar AP minus HA into Y. Okay. So today we will stop here. Next class we will continue basic mechanics and also arch action and 3-hinged arch. Let us start about next class 3-hinged arches. Right? ఎంత మనకి టైం ఎంత ఉంది ఇంకా 10:40
Sir, అయిపోయింది టైం.